Welcome to you all in this course on fluid mechanics. In the last lecture, we discussed some orthogonal curvilinear coordinates. Particularly, we discussed in the last lecture about the Cartesian coordinate system as well as the cylindrical coordinate system. We also discussed the Laplacian operator in orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. Now in this lecture we are going to discuss one more orthogonal curvilinear coordinates, that is the spherical coordinate system, and we shall find out the gradient of a scalar field, divergence and curl of a vector field in the spherical coordinate system. We also saw that the spherical coordinate system is an orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. We further find out the arc length in the spherical coordinate system. We find out uh, the sides of an elementary parallel pipe and surface areas and volume of elementary parallel pipe in a spherical coordinate system. So let us start. So suppose P be a point in the space. Its Cartesian coordinate is x, y, z. Suppose the spherical coordinates of point P are r, theta and phi. So r will be the distance of point P from, this is the origin. So distance of point P from the origin, suppose origin is O, and theta is the angle made by the OP from the z axis, and phi is the angle made by suppose this n be the projection of point P on the xy plane. So phi be the angle made by the line ON from the x-axis. So we can clearly see here, and z is this vertical distance of the projection of point P on the xy plane. So this Pn will be z. Suppose ER, E theta and E phi are the unit normals in the increasing direction of r, theta and phi. Suppose ER is the unit this ER you can see here. ER is the unit vector in the increasing direction of r. E theta, it is the unit vector in the increasing direction of theta, and E phi is the unit vector in the increasing direction of phi. Now from the figure it is clear that suppose we want to find out x, y, z. So x, so this distance ON, if you want to find out, so this is theta, this angle is theta, so its projection along z direction. This distance OP is r, so it's this one. If we shall resolve this this OP along z direction, then we shall get r cos theta, and ON will be r sin theta. Now we shall resolve this ON along x direction and y direction. So since this is r sin theta and it making angle phi with the x axis, so it will become r sin theta cos phi along the y direction. We shall get r sin theta sin phi. So x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z is equal to z. Okay, so this is now as I told, E be a point in the space and its spherical coordinate is r, theta and phi. Then u1 is equal to r, u2 is equal to theta, and u3 is equal to phi. From figure we just I told you, just I explained, x is equal to r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, and z is equal to r cos theta. Now here r is greater than 0, theta is between 0 to pi, and phi is between 0 to 2 pi. Now we shall find out Jacobian. If this Jacobian will be not equal to 0, then the transformation we defined by 2 is invertible, and we can find out r, theta and phi in terms of x, y and z. So Jacobian is equal to the determinant, whose first row is dou x by dou r, dou x by dou theta, dou x by dou phi. Second row is dou y by dou r, dou y by dou theta, dou y by dou phi. Third row is dou z by dou r, dou z by dou theta, dou z by dou phi. So now dou x by dou r, so we have to be differentiate x with respect to r. So when we shall differentiate, we shall get sin theta cos phi, we have written here. Now dou x by dou theta, so x we have to be differentiate with respect to theta. When we shall differentiate it, we shall get r cos theta cos phi. So I have written here r cos theta cos phi, and dou x by dou phi. So dou x by dou phi, we shall get r sin theta minus r sin theta sin phi. So I have written here minus r sin theta sin phi. Dou y by dou r, in the same way we shall get sin theta sin phi. Dou y by dou theta, we shall get r cos theta sin phi, and dou y by dou z, dou y by dou phi, we shall get r sin theta cos phi. So I have written here dou z by dou r is cos theta, dou z by dou theta is minus r sin theta, and dou z by dou phi is equal to 0 because z is independent of phi. When we shall solve this determinant, we shall get it r square sin theta, which is not equal to 0. So that's why the transformation 2 is invertible. So if it is invertible, we shall solve the equation 2 for r theta and phi. So for obtaining r as a function of x, y, z, we shall square all the three. We shall do x square plus y square plus z square. So when we shall do x square plus y square plus z square, we shall get here r square sin square theta cos square phi, r square sin square theta sin square phi, plus r square cos square theta. Its meaning is that we shall get r square sin square theta, and since cos square phi plus sin square phi is 1, so we shall get r square sin square theta plus r square cos square theta. So r square is common, sin square plus theta plus cos square theta is 1, means x square plus y square plus z square is r square. So r is the square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So we got r as a function of x, y, z. Now we shall try to find out the theta. So for finding out theta, we shall do x square plus y square. So when we shall do x square plus y square, we shall get r square sin square theta. So square root of x square plus y square is r sin theta, and when we shall divide it x square plus square root of x square plus y square by z, then we shall get it r tan theta. So sorry, r and r will be cancelled out. We shall get tan theta. So tan theta we shall get as square root of x square plus y square by z. So theta is equal to tan inverse square root of x square plus y square plus z. Now to find out the phi, we shall take the ratio y by x. So when we shall take y by x, then r sin theta will be cancelled out. We shall get tan phi. So phi is equal to tan inverse y by x. So we got r theta and phi as a function of x and y and z. So r is square root of x square plus y square plus z square. Theta is equal to tan inverse square root of x square plus y square divided by z, and phi is equal to tan inverse y by x. So here I written here r is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square to the power half. Theta is equal to tan inverse x square plus y square to the power half divided by z, and phi is equal to tan inverse y by x. Now the coordinate curves. So coordinate surfaces. So coordinate surfaces are given by u1 is equal to c1, u2 is equal to c2, and u3 is equal to c3. So u1 is equal to c1. So u1 is r is equal to c1. So r is equal to c1 means x square plus y square plus z square to the power half is equal to c1. So x square plus y square plus z square is equal to c1 square. So these are the concentric sphere with center as a origin. So coordinate curve r is equal to c1 is concentric spheres with center as origin. Now another coordinate surfaces are given by theta is equal to c2. So theta is tan inverse x square plus y square to the power half divided by z. Its meaning is that tan inverse x square plus y square to the power half divided by z is equal to c2. So x square plus y square to the power half is equal to tan c2 into z. So x square plus y square is equal to tan square c2 z square, and these are the right circular cone with axis at z axis and vertex at the origin. Now the another surfaces are theta is equal to phi is equal to c2. So phi is equal to c2, its meaning is that tan inverse y by x is equal to c2. So tan c2 is equal to y by x. So y is equal to tan c2 into tan c3 into x, which are the planes through x axis. Now we shall find out the coordinate curve. So U1 curve means R curve. So R curve is the intersection of theta is equal to C2 and phi is equal to C3, means it is the intersection of right circular cones with axis as z axis and vertex as origin with the plane through z axis. So that is that one. So which are, we shall get straight lines passing through the origin. Now the theta curve. So theta curve is the intersection of the concentric spheres with center as origin with the planes through z-axis. So when the sphere will be cutted by the plane, we shall get the circle. So these are the vertical circles with center as the origin. And now the phi curve. So phi curve is the intersection of r is equal to c1 and theta is equal to c2, means intersection of the concentric spheres with center as origin with the right circular cone with axis as z-axis and vertex as origin. So we shall get the horizontal circles with center at z-axis. So these are the coordinate curves, means r curves, theta curves and phi curves. Now suppose er, e theta and e phi are the unit vectors along the increasing direction of r, theta and phi, and let r be the position vector of point P, then r is equal to xi plus yj plus zk. So x will be replaced by r sin theta cos phi, y will be replaced by r sin theta sin phi, and z will be replaced by r cos theta. So we shall get r sin theta in bracket cos phi I plus sin phi j plus r cos theta k. Now we have to find out the h1, h2, h3. So for finding out that one, we shall find out dou r vector by dou r is equal to, you have to be differentiate with respect to r. So we shall get sin theta in bracket cos phi I plus sin phi j, and differentiation of this one is plus cos theta k. Now dou r vector by dou theta is equal to, we shall differentiate this one with respect to theta. So r differentiation of sin theta is cos theta. So r cos theta in bracket cos phi I plus sin phi j minus differentiation of cos theta is minus sin theta. So minus r sin theta k. Now dou r vector by dou phi. So dou r vector by dou phi. So we shall differentiate this one. So r sin theta differentiation of cos phi is minus sin phi. So in bracket minus sin phi I plus cos phi j. And since this term does not involve any phi, so this differentiation 0. So kth component of this vector you will get as 0. So h1 is the magnitude of the vector dou r vector by dou r. So when we shall take magnitude of this one, so you see here we shall get sin square theta cos square phi plus sin square phi plus cos square theta. So we shall get since cos square phi plus sin square phi is 1, and again sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1, so we shall get as 1. So this is 1. h2, which is equal to magnitude of the vector dou r by dou theta modulus of this vector, which is equal to we see here cos square phi plus sin square phi is 1, and here we shall get r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta. So its meaning is that r square cos square theta plus sin square theta and square root of r square is r. So we shall get it r. Now h3 is equal to modulus of dou r vector by dou phi. So we shall take the modulus of this vector. So since sin square phi plus cos square phi is 1, so we shall get r cos theta. So h1 we got as 1, h2 we got as r, and h3 we got as r sin theta. Now we shall find out the unit vectors er, e theta and e phi. So unit vector er is equal to 1 by h1 dou r vector by dou r. So 1 by h1, so h1 we found out as a 1, so we shall get dou r vector by dou r. So dou r vector by dou r, here we have already found sin theta cos phi I plus sin phi j plus cos theta k. So it's written here sin theta in bracket cos phi I plus sin phi j plus cos theta k. Now e theta, unit vector e theta is equal to 1 by h2 dou r vector by dou theta. So here h2 we have find as r. We have find as r. So we shall get 1 by r dou r vector by dou theta. So here we already determined dou r vector by dou theta. So this vector will be divided by r. So this r and r will be cancelled out. We shall get cos theta in bracket cos phi I plus sin phi j minus sin theta k. So written cos theta in bracket cos phi I plus sin phi j minus sin theta k, and E phi vector is equal to 1 by S3 dou R vector by dou phi. So 1 by S3, so S3 is R sin theta, 1 by R sin theta dou R vector by dou phi. So dou R vector by dou phi we have find out here, that is R sin theta in bracket minus sin phi I plus cos phi j. So when we shall divide by R sin theta, this R sin theta will be cancelled out. We shall get minus sin phi I plus cos phi j. So therefore minus sin phi I plus cos phi j. So this is E phi. So we got in equation 9, we got the unit vectors ER, E theta and E phi. Now we have to show that the spherical coordinate system is an orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. So we have to show that this epsilon delta relation will be satisfied. Its meaning is that we have to show that ei dot ej is equal to delta ij, which is equal to 1 if I and j assumes the same value, and is equal to 0 when I and j assumes the different value. So here we see when I and j assume the same value, er dot er is equal to e theta dot e theta is equal to e phi dot e phi is equal to 1, and er dot e theta plus is equal to e theta dot e phi is equal to er dot e phi, which is equal to 0. And when we shall take the cross product, so cross product of similar vector will be 0, and cross product er cross e theta is equal to e phi, e theta cross e phi is equal to er, e phi cross er is equal to e theta unit vector. And when we shall change the order of this one, we shall get the negative sign. Its meaning is that e theta cross er is minus e phi cross e theta is minus er, and er cross e phi is equal to minus e theta. Actually these are the epsilon relations. So equation 10 is the delta epsilon relation. So delta epsilon relation is satisfying. So its meaning is that the spherical coordinate system is an orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. So we have shown here that the spherical coordinate system is an orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. Okay, so now we are moving forward. Now we shall find out the gradient of an scalar function psi in the orthogonal curvilinear coordinates system, that is a spherical coordinate system r theta phi. So grade of psi is equal to nebula psi, which is equal to, we know that this one is 1 by h1 dou psi by dou u1 e1 plus 1 by h2 dou psi by dou u2 e2 plus 1 by h3 dou psi by dou u3 e3. So we shall replace when h1 h2 h3 by 1 r and r sin theta, and u1 u2 u3 by r theta and phi, and e1 e2 e3 by er unit vector e theta unit vector and e phi unit vector. Then we shall get grad psi is equal to dou psi by dou r er plus 1 by r dou psi by dou theta e theta plus 1 by r sin theta dou psi by dou phi e phi. So this is the gradient of any scalar function. Now the Laplacian operator, so we already derived the Laplacian operator in the orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system in the previous lecture. So in that expression what we derived, we have to be put h1 h2 h3 as 1 r and r sin theta, u1 u2 u3 as r theta and phi, and er e theta e phi as sorry, e1 e2 e3 as er e theta and e phi. So when we shall put, we shall get this equation 12, that is the Laplacian operator applied on the scalar function psi. Now suppose f be a uniform vector function of the orthogonal curvilinear coordinates r theta phi, then divergence of f, so divergence of a vector function in orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system we have already derived. You just put h1 h2 h3 as r as 1 r and r sin theta, u1 u2 u3 as r theta and phi, and f1 f2 f3 as fr f theta and f phi. Then we shall get divergence of f is 1 by r square dou by dou r of r square fr plus 1 by r sin theta dou by dou theta of sin theta f theta plus 1 by r sin theta dou f phi by dou phi. So this is the divergence of the vector f. Now curl of a vector field f, that is del cross f, is equal to 1 by h1 h2 h3. So h1 is 1, h2 is r, and h3 is r sin theta. So 1 by r square sin theta we shall get here. The first row of this determinant is h1 e1. So h1 is 1 and e1 is er. This element h2 e2, so h2 is r and e2 is e theta unit vector, so r e theta. And this element is h3 e3, so h3 is r sin theta and e3 is e phi unit vector. Dou by dou u1, so dou by dou u1 replaced by dou r, dou by dou u2 replaced by dou theta, and dou by dou u3 replaced by dou phi, because u1 u2 u3 are r theta and phi. The third row, first element, that one is h1 f1, so h1 is 1, f1 is fr. h2 f2, so h2 is r and f2 is f theta, and h3 f3, h3 is r sin theta and f3 is f phi. So this is the expression of curl f, curl of vector field in spherical coordinate system. Equation 14 represents the curl of a vector field in a spherical coordinate system. Now the arc length in a spherical coordinate system. So arc length in a spherical coordinate system, we know that ds is equal to square root of h1 du1 whole square plus h2 du2 whole square plus h3 du3 whole square, that is square root of h1 square du1 square plus h2 square du2 square plus h3 square du3 square. So h1 is 1, du1 square means dr square, plus h2 square du2 square, so h2 square is r square, du2 is d theta square, plus h3 square du3 square, so h3 square is r square sin square theta, and du3 square is d phi square. So its whole is square root. So this will give you the arc length. Now sides of an elementary parallel pipe. So sides in a spherical coordinate system, so sides are given by h1 du1. So h1 is 1, d1 is dr, h2 du2, so h2 is r and du2 is d theta, so r d theta, and h3 du3, so h3 is r sin theta and du3 is d phi, so r sin theta d phi. So sides of elementary parallel pipe, these are r, dr, r sin theta and r sin theta d phi. Now the surface areas of elementary parallel pipe in a spherical coordinate system are h1 h2 du1 du2, so r dr d theta, h2 h3 du2 du3, so h2 h3 is r square sin theta, du2 is d theta, and du3 is d phi, and this one is h1 h3 du1 du3, so h1 h3 is r sin theta, du1 is dr, du3 is d phi. So surface areas are r dr d theta, r square sin theta d theta d phi, and r sin theta dr d theta d phi. The volume of elementary parallel pipe in a spherical polar coordinate system is h1 h2 h3 du1 du2 du3. So h1 h2 h3 and their multiplication you will get r square sin theta, and d1 du2 du3 is dr d theta d phi. So volume is r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. So this is the volume of elementary parallel pipe in a spherical coordinate system. So in this lecture we discussed the spherical coordinate system. We shown that the spherical coordinate system is an orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. Then we find out the gradient of any scalar function, Laplacian operator, and then we discussed divergence curl of a vector function in spherical coordinates. We find out the arc length. We find out the sides of an elementary parallel pipe in a spherical coordinate system. We find out the surface areas of elementary parallel pipe in a spherical coordinate system. We find out the volume of the spherical volume of the parallel pipe in a spherical coordinate system. So when we shall discuss some fluid mechanical problem, and we shall apply the continuum hypothesis, and we shall choose a portion of elementary parallel pipe from some spherical polar coordinates, then that time the sides of parallel pipe we shall consider as dr r d theta and r sin theta d phi. the surface area we shall consider as dr d theta as r dr d theta. Then we shall consider r square sin theta d theta d phi, and r sin theta dr d phi, and volume we shall consider as r square sin theta dr d theta d phi. Now this is the completion of your unit 1. So now again recapitulating, in unit 1 we discussed some fundamental of fluid mechanics, basic properties of fluids, and some different type of flows. Thereafter we discussed some important vector identities, some vector integral theorems, and then we discussed the orthogonal curvilinear coordinates, and we shall find out the arc length. We find out gradient of an scalar function, divergence and curl of a vector function in orthogonal generalized orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. Then we shall discuss some special kind of orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. Those are the Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system, and spherical coordinate system. We shown that these coordinate system are orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. We find out the divergence, curl of a vector field, and gradient of a scalar field in this orthogonal curvilinear coordinate system. So in the next class we shall start unit 1, and we shall discuss how to describe the motion in fluid mechanics. So there are two ways to describe the motion in the fluid mechanics. That one at some extent I already discussed in the continuum mechanics. Those are the Lagrangian descriptions and Eulerian description. So there are two types of two ways to describe the motion in the fluid mechanics. Those are called Eulerian description and Lagrangian description, or we are also calling it spatial and material forms, motion in spatial and material forms, and we shall try to establish the interrelation between this Eulerian description and Lagrangian description. And if a motion is given in Eulerian description, how we shall find out the motion in Lagrangian description, and if a motion is given in Lagrangian description, how we shall find out the motion in the Eulerian description. So thank you very much for attending the class.